Humanity's story begins with the life of God offered at a tree in a high place, and the pattern repeats. Remember Abraham and Isaac, the promised son? He carries a tree. It's now wood, but he carries it on his back up a mountain, and there they experience the provision and the presence of God in that space. Later, Moses will be on a mountain, and he'll be before a tree that is burning, but it's not consumed. And what is at the heart of that tree? The presence of God speaking to him, saying, trust me, and I will lead you into goodness and plenty and abundance. They follow him so far into the wilderness before they choose their own way. And it leads to death. Serpents come out into the midst of remember this wild story? It's better than Game of Thrones. Comes out, they're like biting everybody. People are dying left and right. And Moses gets busy doing metal work until he's fashioned a tree, a rod with a snake around it, and he holds it up. And everyone who looks to it, that looks to the presence of God revealed in a tree of life, finds healing. On and on we could go. Mountains, trees, God's presence. It happens over and over again in the Bible. God inviting his people into eternal life and abundant goodness. And again, times of the judges, times of the kings, they go up the mountains around their cities and they build fake trees, Asherams, these idols that are tall like trees, and there they worship everything but God, grasping again and again for life in the wrong places and coming up with death. But then, in the fullness of time, the Word who was there from the beginning puts on skin and dwells among us. The very tree of life, walking in our midst. The tree of life with skin on. Access to all of God's goodness in our midst. We don't merely reject him. Humanity doesn't just say, well, we'll let the tree of life kind of hang out over here, but we're going to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil over here. No, we get it way more wrong. We destroy the tree of life. We take him up a hill, beaten, mocked, scourged, spit dripping from his beard. And we take the tree of life and we nail him to a tree and we hoist him up in the air, and the tree of life dies and is buried in the ground. But like a seed, remember Jesus said this, unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground or buried Jesus, and the ground grows again because he's unstoppable, undefeatable. The life that he gives cannot be withstood by any army, by even the very gates of hell. And so he rises up, the tree of life. And what's his invitation? He says, I am the vine, you are the branches. I am the tree of life. You can be the branches. Abide in me and I in you, and you will bear much fruit. He doesn't just say, I'm the tree of life. He says, you can be in on it too. You can be part of the tree of life. Man, that's good.